So welcome to the ANOVA portion of the video. What I'm going to do now, the first thing is load up my libraries with these different packages. So each package has their own, or comes with their own respective function. So certain packages will let me get the descriptive stats. Others will let me create a plot, so like a bar graph or a line graph or anything like that. Specific functions will let me use the easy ANOVA approach. So that particular one is easy. And then another package will let me do the multi-level linear model approach, and that'd be NLME. So really, you want to have these packages up if you want to do either of these approaches. The next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to create my variables. So as I mentioned before in the previous videos, my variables will consist of gender, which will be my between measures variable, so my independent variable, if you will. Another variable is social class, and the third variable is rudeness. And social class and rudeness will be my repeated measures variables. So those are the variables that will be using these same participants. So the first thing that I want to do, I actually want to create my list of participants. So I do that using this command. And essentially all it does, it creates that participant variable and it sets it to a factor. So it's telling R to treat it as if it was a number. The next command allows me to create my independent variable, gender. So gender, there's two levels, male and female, and there's 90 cases for all the following conditions. So I'm going to click this command and run it. The next variable that I have is rudeness, and that is my between measures variable, like I said before. Not between, Lord Jesus. Repeated measures. Jesus Christ. So then we're going to run this command, and it allows me to create the different levels. So not rude, moderately rude, to asshole rude. And once again, if you're offended by that word, I do apologize. However, what I was going for is the level of rudeness at the extreme. So it's not for me just to be, a troll, because nobody likes trolls except other trolls. But yeah, no, I'm not here for that. There's more important things to worry about. So the next thing that I want to do is create my second repeated measures variable, which is class. And this one has has 3 levels. So it has low class, middle class, and upper class. So I'm going to run this command. And as I'm doing each of these, creating these variables and setting them to a factor, this is telling R to treat them as if they're numbers, take into account their levels and apply it to the participants. And that's pretty much it. So the next thing that I'm going to do is add my attractive ratings. So these are the ratings the participants gave to their dates, dependent upon the condition of the date. And when I mean condition, if they were like middle class or not rude, so middle class and not rude, and then their next date would be, upper class and an asshole. So men and women get those same treatments, but they're all mixed up. So every participant will be going through a every participant will receive a date. That's pretty much it. So they rate them on a scale of 1 to 100. Somebody got 100. Somebody did. Go ahead. Anyways, so now this particular command allows me to create all the variables that I have into one data frame. Well, into one, and create a data frame for it. So I called it rating data. We're gonna run that, and then to make sure R has done what I've told it to do, we can just type in rating data and run that command, and R is going to give us all the participants who went through the conditions. So like I was saying before, every participant has gone through a date. Each participant goes on 9 dates. I wonder where that 100 is. Hold on, folks. Whoa! Jesus, that's interesting. Oh, never mind. That's interesting. Maybe this suggests that maybe nice people win. As opposed to if you're just a rich asshole. But once again, we're not going to make assumptions just because we see numbers. So now that we have completed the first step, the second step would be exploring the data. So you want to do this using your descriptive statistics, and you want to create, well, if you want to, you can create a visual for it. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to create, I'm going to provide descriptive statistics for my information, well, for my data. So by using the by function and the list function, I can actually combine all the different conditions into one, or into their own respective column. So for males, you can see that. So if male participants who had dates who were low class and not rude, we see that they were given a rating of 88.3 on the attractiveness score, or scale, or rating, whatever you want to call it. But they were rated, they received a mean average of 88.3. Now for male participants who had dates who were of low class but moderately rude, we see like a slight increase here, given at 88.5, but if you round it, it's 89. And then for dates who were like really, really mean and of low class, you see even a sharper increase. Well, I lie, not even sharper, it's like a 88. 88 goes before 87, Caitlin. Yeah, you see a decrease. And you can, in a way, in using your descriptive stats, you can check to see if there's a general trend. But, and well, just to show you really quick, in a way, if you're looking at social class, you can see a decrease in attractive ratings for males. So as upper class goes up, you see a sharper, not a sharper decrease, but you see a decrease in attractiveness ratings. I think I said that before. I'm saying it again, so I'm owning it. Now for women, you see the same general trend. But we're not going to make assumptions here because these are just the numbers that we're playing with. We have to let the statistics test show us what it is, what the truth is, or just what's identified in it. But regardless, now we're going to move on to creating the box plot. So that is going to be our visual, So this particular command lets me create the bones for my box plot. And then this particular command fleshes it out. Come on. Jeez, took you long enough. So this is essentially looking at the gender differences between gender differences in attractiveness ratings based off of rudeness and class. So just looking at it, we see a trend here for males who, for women who are in low class, they were given higher attractive ratings than other dates. Did I say women? Let me say that again, but better. So men, gave higher attractive ratings for their dates who were of low class as opposed to their dates who were of middle or upper class. So across the board, it doesn't matter if, well, for men, it doesn't matter if you are not rude or moderately rude or an asshole, you're given an attractive rating. So that would be cool to see why that is. Now for women, you see something completely different. And I'm only gonna hone in on the low class portion, because not even cause it's just there's a lot to talk about. But anyways, for women, you see that individuals who are of low class, they were given higher ratings as opposed to individuals who were like middle class and upper class. But you see something very much different in the low class portion. So rudeness, the level of rudeness, does have some form of, or just looking at it, this plot implies that the levels of rudeness have an influence on attractiveness ratings of the female participants. So could it be that if you're just an asshole, you're gonna be seen as less attractive? We don't know yet. We just have to depend. Well, it just depends on what the statistical test shows us. But in essence, the main message of descriptive statistics and of plotting a plot, they give you like a snapshot of what your data looks like. The most important thing, though, you don't want to interpret them as this is what this is. So you want to go through the motion, and the motion is using your statistical testing. But I do want to highlight that this is not real data. This is fake data. So please, for that one person that always wants to be right, do not take this and say, this is what this researcher found, and I told you I was right. Don't be that person. Nobody likes that person. Nobody likes a person that uses fake data and acts as if it's the real thing, because it's not. So in the next video, I'm actually going to do the ANOVA approach and the multi-level linear model approach, just to show you guys. However, I'm more so going to focus on the ANOVA approach, and we'll just take it from there.